What's up, Blade fam? So today we're here again at the coping ledge. Last week I taught you guys how to do the front side grind here, and this week we will be covering the backside grind. Following this tutorial, I'm going to be covering all of the grinds that evolve from mastering front sides and back sides in both directions. Without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so before we get the skates on, let's go into what this grind looks like. It looks just like a front side, except instead of you facing the obstacle, your back faces the obstacle. That's why it's called a backside, because your backside is faced towards the obstacle. So just like learning any other grind, we're going to begin this by stalling on either a crack, a grass line. The reason why I like to use a grass line is for those of you that are just beginning and aren't that savvy on wheels, it kind of gives you the chance to stabilize without having to worry about rolling on a crack. You know, if you're practicing this on a crack and you are doing this and you fall imbalanced, whereas if you're on a grass, you know, you're not going to roll away. So that's why I promote using the grass line. So you're going to want to visualize coming up onto this trick, how you're going to stabilize. For some of us, we're more comfortable with our backs towards the obstacle. Others are more comfortable facing the obstacle. It all depends on the individual. Okay guys, so now that you've practiced stalling this on a grass line or a crack, it's now the time to go and approach a ledge and practice jumping onto that. So what you want to do is pop in a way that puts you completely on top of the ledge. If you're lucky to have a coping ledge like this, it'd be the best thing to learn on. If you skate quarters or transitions well, quarter pipes are an excellent way to learn this grind. I'll be covering a transition video here soon. I've had many requests for different tricks, different skating tips, and I plan to getting to all of them. So be patient. You know, I work a full-time job too, and I'm still trying to get out here and make these tutorials for us, and I enjoy doing what I'm doing and don't want to be overwhelmed, so I'm going to keep it in a nice, comfortable pace. So back to the grind. If you're on a ledge, when I was teaching my son and Nye how to just jump up onto the obstacles, sometimes it helps just to jump all the way over the obstacle and know that you can get that high. Other people rather just jump at the obstacle. Again, it's up to the individual on learning this trick. If this trick sketches you out because your back is facing the obstacle, by all means, throw some pads on. There is no shame in throwing a helmet, wrist guards, any types of pads. If it's gonna prevent you from being able to practice this trick, you're like, hey, I'm not gonna do that trick because I'm afraid to fall. Well, you can buy gear and pad up, and now the fall's not that bad. So if this idea of throwing your back to an obstacle, when I was first learning back royales, it felt that way. Something about hopping up and just trusting that your feet are gonna lock and you're not gonna fall and break your back or anything like that. It's just something like that. For me, I prefer seeing my obstacles. You know, front sides are a little more preferred for me, but I am working in the direction of throwing my back to obstacles, you know. All right, so let's get into the jump. The jump is just like the front side. You're gonna pop, and as you get up, you can use your hands as stabilization. The pressure is gonna be down in your feet. An exercise that you could maybe practice if you're one of the people that go to the gym or are into fitness is, you know, doing the clam or abductors, because once you're in this position, your legs are gonna be wanting to slide apart from you, but you're in control and you're trying to hold them together. So having strong abductors in here and pulling those legs together, keeping them in control with having a downward pressure on your obstacle is ideal or key to sliding this well. So once you've mastered the pop, now we can go on into sliding it. Now you don't have to come at it fast. This grind is one of those grinds that are really cool because it kind of slides on its own. You don't really have to worry about sticking because it has like this foot is shoveling and this foot is scraping, so it kind of has a, for example, I've got really like minimal amounts of speed here. but I was able to jump onto this obstacle and slide it. When coming out of this trick, again, it's like the front side, depending on which way you're sliding, you may want to come out forward or fakie. Depending on which foot leads can determine which way you'll feel more comfortable coming out. All right, so now we got the jump, we got the lock, we're playing around with the slide. You know, when I work on consistency at my home on my P-rail, I don't skate fast. I really am just like 1 or 2 pushes and that's enough if your obstacle's sliding well, especially in this trick. So don't feel like you have to just go at it. Take your time, make sure you got your feet where they need to be. You feel confident where your feet are. You feel confident in the way you're holding your balance, and then progress. Enjoy the process, because once it's done, you kind of lose out on what it means to learn tricks. You know, it's something you can continue to evolve, but I think sometimes we underrate the process of things. So enjoy the process. Learn from the falls, learn from the gains, times you're locking it, times you're on, and build that confidence. Okay, so now that we've covered all of the steps, the approach, the pop, the stabilization, working on sliding it at a slower speed, let's go ahead and throw some speed at this and get this thing slided. So that direction is my dominant, or what I would say is my regular direction. Now when I learned this switch, it really was like, you know, how do you're just jumping up there, but it just felt really weird. So I began to visualize it as a top sole or a back royale. You can see if I jump up, the movement is similar, it's just different footing. So if you know how to do that trick, it helps to think of it that way, or top sole. You see how it's very similar. It is switch. For me, my left is leading this grind, but at the end of the day, it's the same body position, it's the same trick. It's just a matter of confidence, approaching the drawing board, going to the grass crack, stalling it on a little curb, and building up. So let's go ahead and throw one of those switch. So now we got it in both directions. We've covered this grind. The out, again, depending on direction and footing, you can come out fakie or regular. Experiment with both. And that's it, guys. Really enjoy the process again. Don't rush anything. There's nothing to rush. There's no objective. Have fun, learn a grind, slide well, and enjoy. So that's gonna sum up today's tutorial on the backside grind. We covered it both left and right directions. Again, I'm gonna be making a tutorial or a short video showing you just from foot placement what tricks can be developed off of mastering the front side and the back side, both directions, switch and regular. Because it's really just a matter of turning the feet, and now all of a sudden, instead of a backside, you got a switch top sole. Instead of a backside, you have a true top sole. Instead of a front side, you have a sole, a switch alley-oop sole, and such. So there's so many tricks that can come from mastering this jump, because that's all it is if you're jumping above your obstacle consistently, all of a sudden, it turns into something else just by tweaking the foot or the toe or the heel just a little bit more. So that sums it up, guys. I don't want to keep ranting away about how great front sides and back sides can be. Thanks again, guys. Till next time, keep the blade alive. Aloha.